Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, October the 23rd, 2015. Today we're going to discuss your eBay concerns just like we always do. For those of you who've never been here before, I am a top-rated seller on eBay. I've been with them since 1999, and each week we get together and we try and talk about some difficulties and problems that arise in our normal eBay trading days. So let's get to it. As always, we're going to discuss your comments from last week's video. We're also going to discuss something that comes up now and then, bad sellers on eBay, a little more about Periscope, and another update on Amazon. In case any of you guys didn't catch it, I put up a video last Monday, a real short video. I actually filmed it on Sunday when I was in Queens at a shindig, but the thing is, Amazon is suing Fiverr members who conspired with some bad Amazon sellers to write false positive reports about their products. While I am not an Amazon seller myself, nor am I a big fan of Amazon, I do support them 100% in what they're doing in cleaning up the river. They are definitely doing the right thing. I am all for it. That's why I put up that really short video in case you guys wanted to check it out. And I put a link in. If I remember, I will put a link again in the description box below, because it's a very important must-read. Again, Amazon is suing Fiverr members who conspired with some bad Amazon sellers, a very small amount, but still bad sellers, to write false positive reports about their products, which they never even purchased. But again, this video is about eBay, so let's get on to the eBay topics. In your comments in last week's video, I want to give a shout out to the Skinny Cow, who was the only person who noticed that I forgot to change the date on the whiteboard behind me last week. It had still said October 9th, and I noticed it when I was editing the video, but it was too late to do anything then. So again, a shout out to the Skinny Cow who noticed that. Elliot 22785 made a comment and said he wishes all sellers would include a packing slip or invoice with their orders. My question to you guys is, when you guys send stuff out, do you include an invoice or packing slip? I always do. And the reason why Elliot is so big on this is because he says, let's say he buys 4 items, 4 of the same items from 4 different sellers. 3 of the items come great, but 1 of them comes damaged, broken, or not as described. He has to try and figure out which seller sent him the bad item. And I definitely understand that. And I really do think all sellers should at least include a packing slip or some kind of an invoice, you know, thanking the buyer and with the price on it, the date, and all that kind of thing. I've always done that since day one. Now, an interesting comment was left that I want to pursue by Mike E. Graham. He said that he had gotten into a dispute with a buyer, and eBay sided with him, the seller. And then he claimed that the buyer tried to leave him negative feedback but couldn't. What I would like to ask you, Mike, is how do you know that the buyer actually tried to leave you that feedback? Are you saying that he left it for you and you got it removed? Because if not, I don't know of any way a seller can tell that a buyer tried to leave them feedback, negative feedback, and failed. Could you please comment on that and elaborate below, because I'm really interested in finding out what you meant by that. That could be a very interesting topic for next week's video. I myself had an incident with a bad seller. I've been talking about this for weeks, and it's really one of the main topics for today's video. Guys, there are not that many bad sellers out there. There are a few, but a very small amount. when you encounter a bad seller, do you ever feel guilty about negging them? Because that's my situation I'm in now, and I've talked about this now in the past, and I'm going to talk about it again. First, for those of you guys who don't remember my case, what happened is last month I bought some hubs on eBay, paid right away. Several days go by, no tracking number was uploaded by the seller. A week goes by, no tracking number. 2 weeks go by, I've got no items and no tracking number. So now I'm worried. So instead of opening a case, because I know how to do it, I simply clicked on the I want to ask seller a question about this item. I didn't want to dick the guy over. I said, could you please tell me where my items are? It's been over 2 weeks. I don't have anything. You didn't upload any tracking. I gave him a chance. A couple of days go by. He does not get back to me. So I had to actually open a case against him saying item not received. So I opened the case, and a few days later he wrote back to me and said, oh, I forgot all about this. I'm sorry. I'm away. I will ship them next Wednesday. All right? So, okay, I accept that. Next Wednesday comes, nothing. He writes back to me, I'll ship them on Thursday. Thursday comes, nothing. He writes back, I'll ship them on Saturday. Something's not right here. So, I let it go. I didn't do anything. And on, I think Monday or Tuesday of this week, I get a letter from eBay saying, we understand you did not receive your items from the seller, and we apologize for that. We are giving you back your money. We're refunding you. This is eBay talking. Now keep in mind, I still had a few more days left before I could close out the case, or the request as they call it, by saying either I got the items or I didn't. For some reason, I guess eBay felt it was too long, I'm not sure. They went ahead, closed out the case on their own, and they sent me back my money. Naturally, I still don't have the items, and I never heard from this ghost of a seller. So my question to you guys, given everything I've told you, what would you do? Would you neg this guy? He's not an experienced seller. I've checked his feedback. He hasn't sold a single thing in the last 6 months except for my item. Personally, I think he's a bad seller. He's not the kind of person that I would want to buy from again. But if it was you, guys, would you neg him? Yes or no, and why? Comment below, okay? I want to hear from you guys. I mean, personally, my gut feeling tells me he deserves a neg. But I just don't like to neg anybody. I have negged people in the past. I've negged sellers who didn't send me anything and kept my money back in the early days of eBay. Remember that? And I've negged sellers who promised name brand items and sent me that China crap. That's one case where I'm not bashful about negging anybody at all. They deserve it. Okay? You may remember back in the early days of eBay, we could neg deadbeat bidders, and I sure neg them too, without compunction. To this day, I feel that deadbeat bidders should get some kind of strike against their account by eBay that is publicly visible to all of us. So if you have a guy bidding on one of your items and you see he's got, let's say, 3 red dots next to his user ID, you know that there are 3 items he didn't pay for that he won. I know eBay doesn't want to do this because they don't want to scare people off the platform, and I understand that. But still, I do believe that we have the right to know who the deadbeat bidders are. All right? But again, that's just my question for you. Would you neg the seller that dicked me over? Yes, no, and why? I did a short Periscope the other day from the junkyard. I don't know if any of you guys caught it. You know, I had kind of planned to do it. I went to the junkyard, I believe it was Wednesday, and I did a very short Periscope from there. Hopefully you guys caught it. I'm thinking about uploading it to YouTube. If you guys are interested, and me uploading it, let me know and I will do that. Over the last few weeks, I've been telling you guys about a case that was opened against me for item not received. To rehash, I sold an item about 2 months ago. I'm not kidding you, 2 months ago. The person waits 1 month and without contacting me opens a case saying item not received. So okay, it clearly shows the tracking was sent right to his mailbox. He got the item, okay? He opens a case. He opens a case as item not received. eBay, well, I called eBay immediately. I called customer service because that's the thing you should do. If a person opens a case against you for item not received and you have uploaded the tracking like you're supposed to and it shows that it was delivered to his house, you need to call customer service. They'll close it out in your favor. That's what I did. They closed it out immediately. I was covered. Within 20 minutes, he opens the case with PayPal. He's trying to double dip. In other words, double jeopardy, like we talked about last week. So, PayPal already had the tracking number in their files, in their system, but I responded to the case via email and I gave it to them again and I explained how he tried it with eBay and eBay sided with me. PayPal also sided with me and closed the case in my favor. However, they waited a full 7 days to do so. I do not know why. I have no idea why they wait 7 days. eBay closed it like that, but PayPal waited 7 days even though they had the full tracking information. They released the hold on my funds. They didn't say if they were going to refund the buyer, like one of those courtesy refunds. I don't know if they tell you or if they don't. Maybe one of you guys can jump in here and let us know. Is that a common practice? Would they tell me if they refunded the buyer as well? If they did not, I would not be surprised if he tries to open a fraudulent chargeback with his credit card. I would not be surprised at all. That's only happened to me once in my 16 years on eBay. But I will keep you advised on that, guys, let you know what's going on. My sales this week have been very good. No complaints whatsoever. I think I had one slow day. I think it was Monday. Don't quote me on that. But I did have one slow day. Some of you guys have been wondering what happened to the new eBay Seller Hub. The new eBay Seller Hub is by invitation only, or you could apply to get on the waiting list and wait for your acceptance email. It was supposed to start being rolled out October the 20th. That has been pushed back to the beginning of November. Should any of you guys at that time get the Seller Hub, we can talk about that. They're promising very, very good things, and I eagerly await to see what the new eBay Seller Hub has to bring. Guys, that about covers it for now. To rehash the points, the key topics of today's video. Guys, if you were in my position, would you neg this seller that never sent me my hubs? Yes, no, and why, please? My next question. How were your sales on eBay? Were they good? Were they bad? If you have any questions, comment below. Or if you have any comments on the Amazon issue that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, where they're suing the Fiverr members for false reports, I'd like to hear you on that, especially you guys who do sell on Amazon. I want to get your take on this. If you have any issues you want me to address in next week's video, please comment below. If you have any other eBay or PayPal concerns, comment below. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you are not. Thanks for watching once again. I will see you guys next Friday with another episode of the Crazy New York Driver Show. Thanks for watching, and as always, rock on.